I'm Kelly Faltersack, nutritionist, and joining me today in the Learning Kitchen is Dr. Elizabeth Felton, neurologist at UW Health.
Thanks, Kelly. So the ketogenic diet is a high-fat, low-carbohydrate diet that we use for patients with epilepsy. The type that we use in our clinic is the modified Atkins diet, and it's a typically 10 to 20 gram of net carbohydrate limit per day. So we're always looking for new recipes, and we're especially looking for holiday recipes this time of year. What do you have for us?
So today we're making a cornbread stuffing, and it's a nice low-carb option for the holidays. We're going to start out by adding some coconut flour and some almond flour.
And these type of flours are much lower carb than like typical white flour, right?
Exactly. We're adding some salt. And we're adding some baking powder.
Okay.
And then we're just going to mix this up a little bit. Now we're adding our wet ingredients. So we have some eggs.
And those have a little bit of carbohydrate in it, right, that we have to make sure to account for.
Exactly. And we're adding some unsweetened coconut milk. And those nut milks are a great keto-friendly option. And this is melted coconut oil.
And coconut oil is a really good source of MCT, right?
Exactly. And that can help your patients boost their ketosis.
Right.
So I have a greased pan here. So we're going to pour this into the greased pan. And I have the oven preheating right now at 350 degrees. We're going to put this in the oven to bake for 40 to 50 minutes.
Okay. And this is just the cornbread part, right?
Correct. I just pulled this one out of the oven. It's been in for about 45 minutes. So this is what the finished cornbread looks like. And then we want to let this cool before we use it in the rest of the recipe. We've diced it into bite-sized cubes. And I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in this pan that's been heating up. So we're going to start on the stuffing portion of the recipe. So we have some celery and onions that are all chopped up and ready to go. So we're going to put that in our hot pan.
And items like onion sometimes have a lot of carb in it that has to be accounted for in the recipe also.
So we want to cook this down for about 4 minutes until it's softened.
So now we'll add the mushrooms.
We're going to let all that cook down. So this is softened down very nicely. So now we're going to add some ground pork. We're just going to break that up and cook it until it's nice and browned. And we have some poultry seasoning and some sage, if you want to add that. Perfect. And we also have some salt and pepper. Perfect. So now we're just going to let this cook until it's nice and browned. All right, so this looks great. This is nice and browned and everything's cooked down and the flavors have all come together nicely. So what we're going to do next is we have the cornbread that we already diced up. We're just going to add this into the cornbread. So now that we have all that, we're going to add 3 eggs and some chicken broth. If you want to dump that in. Perfect. And we're just going to mix all of that together.
It smells like the holidays. That poultry seasoning and that sage really give it that nice smell.
And sometimes it's harder to find, a good substitute for the holidays, and this is a really delicious stuffing. Nice and low carb.
Excellent.
Okay, so everything's stirred up really nicely, and I have this greased pan here, so we're just going to put it all into this greased pan, and then we'll put it in the oven. And this cooks for about 45 to 50 minutes at 350. So we just pulled our cornbread stuffing out of the oven. It's nice and golden brown.
And it's an excellent low-carb, keto-friendly stuffing that we can use for the holidays.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me in the Learning Kitchen today.
Thank you.